everyone, welcome back to Stories for Little People. My name is Amy Bowe. I hope everyone is having a great summer. And today I will be reading Ideas Are All Around. Today, outside my house, the sunflower opened. Hello, sunflower. I planted it from a packet of a very old seed. There were a lot of seeds, but only this one grew. Actually, there was one more, but it fell down in the rainstorm before it could open. Planting a seed is always a risk. I have to write a story today. That is my job. I write stories, but today I don't have any ideas. This is my dog, Wednesday. She doesn't like me to write stories. It's sunny out, and Wednesday wants to go for a walk. Come on, Wednesday, let's go. Together we walk over the bridge, down the concrete stairs, then under the bridge, and across the boardwalk, beside the river rolling lazily by. There, on a small log, is a painted turtle, sitting very still in a pocket of sunshine. His name is Frank. Hello, Frank, I say. And like each time before, he makes a quick for dark water and disappears. Goodbye, Frank. Someday, I hope he looks forward to these smidgens of time we share, me and Frank. We're in this together, after all. Hi, Wednesday, comes a loud voice, all the way from up the hill on the other side of the river. It's Barbara. Wednesday loves Barbara. Barbara lives in the back of a tall blue house with 2 dogs, 3 cats, and an aquarium full of tropical fish. I used to live in the blue house, 2 in a room at the very top. One day, I tripped on the front steps carrying a bucket of blue paint. The bucket flew out of my hands, and the paint made a big blue blob on the sidewalk. When Barbara came home, she said, "How wonderful! A blue horse." Hey, Barbara, I call out. Maybe we'll stop by later. Okay, she says. I'll make coffee. Then comes a line of ducks floating downstream. Hello, I say. I don't have any ideas today. If the ducks have any advice, they keep it to themselves. Written in spray paint on the boardwalk near my feet are the words, "Stop War," which is a pretty good idea if you ask me. What do you think? I ask a tall bird standing in the water. The bird flies away when Wednesday gets too close. How wonderful. Up ahead, a train rumbles by. I wave and imagine passengers off to places like Chicago, Omaha, Seattle. You should never walk on the train tracks, I say to Wednesday. But we do it anyway. If we follow them far enough, we'll end up in Cleveland, Baltimore, New York City. But instead, we walk uphill, past the school, and around the big purple house. We stop at the stone church, where a long line of people are waiting for the soup kitchen. Nice day for a walk, a woman says to Wednesday. A man in a wheelchair bends down and scratches Wednesday behind the ears. I used to have a dog just like you, he says. Wednesday wags her tail and more people come to say hello. No one seems to notice me, so I wait and watch the blue sky. Maybe I'll use my typewriter today. A typewriter makes writing fun, even when there's nothing to say. Clack, clack, clack. You take a walk on the page. I bought my typewriter from a man with the thick glasses. "Hello," he said. "Come on in." "Did you fix all of these?" I asked. "Fix and repair, that's what I do." "Do you have a favorite one?" He looked all around. "You know, I really don't. It's like a person loves horses. Each one has a different personality. I love them all." Wednesday tugs the leash, so we start to walk again. There are a lot of birds out today. I can hear them, but I'm not good at seeing them. I have to imagine what they look like. I know one real bird call. The black-capped chickadee goes tweet, 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 high then low. It is the same sound I make sure when Wednesday chases a squirrel, and I want her to come back. "Wednesday, wait!" Tweet, tweet. "Wednesday," says Barbara. "It's so good to see you." I came following after. "Hi, Barbara. How's it going?" "Pretty good," she says. "How are things?" "I have to write a story today." "Wonderful. But I don't have any ideas." "Oh," says Barbara. "I wouldn't worry about it. Ideas are all around." We sit on the front steps and drink coffee together. Wednesday watches for squirrels. Barbara tells me about the skunk that's been living in her cellar lately. "We keep each other company," she says. Barbara tells me about the canoe she liked to buy. There are so many things you never get to see, and if you don't go out in the water. I tell Barbara about Frank. We talk about typewriters and the bird calls we know. We talk about long lines of people waiting for something to eat. We talk about places we like to go on the train. We talk about war. "It's such a waste," Barbara says. "We could all go fishing instead." Then Barbara gets up and pulls a weed from the front yard. "Did you know that 10,000 years ago, this spot was the bottom of a lake?" It's true. Giant ancient fish swam in herds like buffalo, and before that were the woolly mammoths. This neighborhood has seen so many things. "Let's go," I say, and they follow me home like friendly ghosts. Clack, 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 ding. Together, we take a walk on the page. Wednesday falls asleep and dreams of squirrels. And that is the end for Ideas of All Around. Next, I will be reading the WARTS. One warm Wednesday morning, the sun winked through the wombat's window and woke her up. "What a wonderful day to wander the world," she thought. Wombat went to ask Weasel and Woodchuck whether they should go with her. "Where is the world?" asked Weasel. "Past the wishing well, down the pathway, and through the woods," answered Woodchuck, who was very well read, so they set to work wondering what to take with them. Wombat wanted watercress on whole wheat bread and sandwiches, walnut, wafers, waffles, with whipped cream, wedges of watermelon, and her walking stick. Weasel wanted wieners and liver rust, and his water pistol. Woodchuck wanted the W volume of Webster's Book of Words, in case they needed to look up information about the world. But then Wombat began to worry. "Wait," she wailed. "What if we're walking past the wallflowers and a swarm of wasps is waiting? What if they swirl around us and we've nothing to swat them with? What if we're running away and we're not watching where we're going and suddenly we're wading up to the waist in water? What if wave whooshes over us and a walling walrus swims up and swallow us? What then? If we're going swimming," said Weasel, "I'll want to wear my water wings." "You're so wise, Weasel," cried Wombat. "We won't be worrywarts." But then Weasel began to worry. "Wait," he wailed. "What if we're waltzing down the pathway when a wicked wolf comes winding his way towards us? What if we wave to him, but he won't wag his tail? What if we're running away when the weather worsens? What if a whirlwind blows in front of the west and sweeps us away into the wilderness? What then?" "If it's going to be windy," said Woodchuck, "I want to wear my woolly underwear." "You're so wise, Woodchuck," cried Weasel. "We won't be worrywarts." But then Woodchuck began to worry. "Wait," he wailed. "What if we're whistling while walking through the woods and we wake up an owl? What if he gets worked up and swoops down with a swish of his wings and whisks us away? What if the weight's too much for him and he begins to wobble? What if he drops us into a swamp and a warthog comes waddling through and wallops us? What then?" "If we're going flying," said Wombat, I want to wear my wind helmet." "You're so wise, Wombat," cried Woodchuck. "We won't be worrywarts." Then, without wasting any more time, they wrapped the watercress on whole wheat bread sandwiches, the waffles with whipped cream, the walnut wafers, the wedge of watermelon, and the wieners and liverlust in waxed paper. Woodchuck put the W volume of Webster's Books of Words into his wheelbarrow and went away, and away they went to wander the world. After a while, Wombat said, "I was wondering whether we should eat our sandwiches." So they sat on the wall, they played with a wiggly worm, and watched a spider weaving a web on the wisteria. But suddenly, "Watch out!" warned a woodpecker from a weeping willow tree. Something whooshed around Wombat's watercress on a whole wheat bread sandwich. "A wasp!" she cried. Swiftly, Wombat racked the air with her walking stick and whizzed a wedge of watermelon into some weeds. "Wow!" whooped the wasp. Watermelon, mouth-watering, and the wasp went winging away. "Well done, Wombat," cried Weasel and Woodchuck. "You are wonderful." "You're welcome," said Wombat, and they set off again to wander the world. But suddenly, "Watch out!" came a whisper from a rabbit. Warren, someone came swaggering down the pathway toward them. "Whoops!" cried Weasel. "A wicked wolf." Swiftly, a weasel twirled his wieners and liverlust into some wildflowers and swished his water pistol at the wolf. "Wieners and liverwurst," cried the wolf, wiping his wet whiskers. "I'm wild about wieners and liverwurst." After he went with his tail wagging. "Way to go!" cried Wombat and Woodchuck. "You're very willy, Weasel." "We weren't wimps," agreed Weasel, and they set off again to wander the world. But suddenly, "Watch out!" rabbled a wagtail. Woodchuck saw an eye twinkling behind a twig. "An owl!" he cried. Swiftly, Woodchuck whirled his W volume of Webster's Book of Words at the owl. Whang! "Whoopee!" cried the owl. "Just what I wanted to help me win my word game." "You're so wise, Woodchuck," said Wombat and Weasel. "We walked a long way," said Wombat. "I'm weak and weary," said Weasel. "I'm worn out," said Woodchuck. So they went back along the pathway. "When will we wander the world again?" wondered Wombat. "I wish we could go again next week," said Weasel. "Why not?" said Woodchuck. "But what if?" And that would be the end of our episode today for Stories for Little People. Thank you for joining me on today's episode, and I hope you guys have a great day.